Hi everybody, this is Stephanie. I'm showing you another entry into my creative journal. I wanted to have a monthly calendar for this setup. I love October. I love any chance to decorate, so I kind of went crazy. So here I am just giving you a glimpse. My desk was so messy. I had already been doing a couple of projects and I just got inspired to start recording. So let me clean that off real quick. I started trying to clean up a bit. So I started off with the right side using the foam stamp set. It's from Tim Holtz of this, what did you call that? Slime, gloop, whatever. And I love the idea of using the red. I use the Tim Holtz Distress ink in Red Barn. And since I did it so good on that side, I figured, hey, let's start recording it. And of course, this side came out horrible, but I show you how I fix that. So it's not a total loss. It was an easy fix. And you're going to see that right here. So the upper portion did not, the impression did not come out like so good, but it's an easy fix. Like I said, I just grab out that ink pad and dab it to where it's suddenly full of blood. I don't have the, what do you call those things? The daubers. Is that what they call them? It's not what they call them. Tim Holtz has the actual like handle, and it has like a little sponge applique. I just use makeup sponges. My husband came and gave me the popcorn, the half pops. I love those things. They're like partially popped. It gives them enough crunch, but it's also, you know, it's on the harder side. But anyway, so I had to pause the video, snack on that, and then I came back in. So I'm just coloring it in, letting you know, okay, this is an easy fix. I will have another mess up throughout this tutorial or show, viewing, whatever you want to call this. I just really got inspired. I love watching when people get creative in their memory planners, and this is what I wanted to do. I kind of go in the round of serial killers and, well, killer movies, I guess is more the right phrase. I showed my son other things that I was doing, and he was right there, and he had pointed to his birthday, and I was letting him know, do you know these killers, because he does not watch scary movies. He's born in October, and he does not like to be scared, and he's pointing to his day, and he said he wanted to have an image there, so he picked out a Grim Reaper. It's like the QT one, so right away I put it on. It doesn't really fit with all my other characters, but, you know, that's his birthday and that's what he wanted. And he said, it's so cute. Yes, I like it. And I was like, okay. So that should tell you, he does not watch scary movies. But, yeah, so I'm now going to start labeling or adding in all my little characters. I believe this is a Kindred stamp set. I don't remember what it's called. I know it's discontinued, but they do offer like a Volt release when they bring them back for a short time. So just be on the lookout for that. We have the Michael Myers, we have Jason, and we got Freddy Krueger, and then we also have It. The vampire, I can't really think of another like main film, but you know, there's a ton of vampire movies, guys. I thought about this Frankenstein, but he doesn't stay. I think I added in one more character, and it is the Mummy. I love the Mummy film, so he's gonna stay. My son wanted balloons, but I didn't really like the glossy accent over it. It left it like a yellow tint on that embellishment, but I don't have it in my heart to throw it out either, so. And there goes the Mummy. Now I give you a quick viewing of coloring them. It's super simple. I have the Crayola Super Tips. I don't have Copic markers, but I make it work, and I don't do multiple colors. This is just regular cardstock paper. So I'm just coloring him all up. I'm not going to show you all of them coloring, just because, again, I feel like it's kind of self-explanatory since I'm not doing multiple colors to do the proper shading of anything else. I'm just coloring them like I would a coloring book. It's really hard with these super Crayola tips just because they don't have a better point, which I do love for bigger coloring points like their body, but for these itty bitty little nooks and crannies, it was a little hard not to get the white line that I have over it. I have a ScanNCut, a Brother ScanNCut, so I was able to use it for these. These were already pre-cut from last year, so that was nice. And I'm probably going to do that again for this year, just so that way it saves time on having to pull out my ScanNCut. Here I am, it's all done for Freddy. This is how I colored him. I feel like his shirt could have been darker, but I had colors on my desk and I just made it work with that. So I do come back to this quite often and trying to find out how to minimize some of the white space just because there is quite a lot. I pulled out a cloud and I thought I'd do a sentiment on there from Freddy Krueger. It says you're so dreamy, but it doesn't fit in that cloud, so I am going to dismiss the cloud and just place it right there. And then after that, this is when I decide to go ahead and put all the sentiments down for all the characters, and then I move on from there. All of them are complete. None of the characters are adhered yet, just because I am indecisive, so I won't do that till like the very end. There in the upper left portion, I put Happy Bloody Halloween, just because that's the theme we're going with. We're going with a killer from all the movies. Now, I decided to put a bunch of pumpkins right here just because they are kind of evil looking pumpkins, are what jack-o'-lanterns, and I felt like it was very fitting that these pumpkins belong with these killers. So I just kept adding them all on there. As you can see, I'm slowly adding them in. And in the end, I will add another one by Michael Myers there on the left, but you won't see that till I do the overview at the end. So here I am, did a lot of editing to get them to show up the way they are. I really liked the way that came out. And then I came and added in some crows, because why not? Of course, I was doing so good until I added this crow in and I smeared it. And I was like just devastated, guys. I had done a lot of work into this. I was just so... I panicked for a little bit there. And I quickly grab a sponge, and if you don't use that sponge properly, it is very harsh, so it will place harsh marks on there. So you have to kind of like, you know, first start off on a paper, but I didn't think about that because I was just panic mode, and I'm just like, holy smokes. So I quickly cut out a square, and I'm thinking, you know what, I'm just going to color these pumpkins while I think about that and see if I can fix it. If not, it's going to get covered. And, you know, I kind of was not happy about that just because it's going to cover up some of the pumpkins. But we fix that in the end. So I fix it up, and I'm really happy with the turn of events that created. So I just show you a simple coloring. It's a really dark orange, and from the kit, the Crayola Super Tips markers. I think I got the 100 pack. So here it is, all completed. And I did try and just like scruff up that box, and I did not like that at all, so I tried something before I did cover it. So I adhere it, and then I re-stamp the top portion of those pumpkins that is around that square, and then I'm going to try and figure out, okay, well, I have some splotches off of the background of that square, and it's the only one. It's so obvious. What can I do? So I start thinking, as I try and add in these. So sorry about the headshot here. I'm trying to get just the top portion of that pumpkin on the paper to make it appear back in the front instead of behind that little sheet of paper. It gave me the idea, well, back then I used to do some outlining behind my squares just to give them a shadow or dimension. And so I thought, well, let me add it up to a couple of squares so that way I make a play on that, I guess. I'm trying to fix my mess up here. So this is what I come up with. I'm so sorry about the glitching of the camera. It just sometimes does that while I am in this secondary work surface. So I'm looking at the idea and seeing if I like to do that, if it's going to work. And as I do more throughout the entire calendar, I realize that it kind of has that crypt look, and you know, like how they have the tombs or the crypts. So I go with that, and I do that all throughout the spread. And I love the fact that I was able to make lemonade in this situation. So here I am bringing in another crow just because there was one, and I originally wanted 3, but I got 2 on. I'm not going to try for the 3rd just because I learned my lesson. Here I am thinking about it, contemplating, and yeah, real quick, I just shut that down. I don't want to have another mishap. This is just too much work for me to have to redo. And this is where I came up with the idea. Okay, we're going to do a bunch of squares with the background, and we're going to play on that and have, these are a bunch of squares for crypts with, I guess, their victims, right? It kind of makes sense if you think about it, the amount of people they've killed. So, and in the end, you'll see that I add in rest in peace on some square, and like a little angel, not a gargoyle, but some, you know how they have those 3D pieces that are on top of the, I have no idea what I'm trying to say here, but you'll see it at the end. So I scruff up on the right side all the other like backgrounds to make it intentional, and I'm going to do it for this side as well. I show you what I mean really quick here. So I'm just kind of roughing up the edges the way that first one started off. All of them now have that. So aiming for the intention here. I intended to do that, guys. So here we are. So I show you really quick what I'm referring to, that I just did it to the edges and I covered up. I wanted to have the inner blocks of the calendars squares to still be kind of vacant in case I want to end up kind of doing my October daily thing within the squares, maybe marking either a thankful thing or my favorite part, something, my favorite memory for that day. I have no idea how I want to do it. So the last thing that I have to do is I wanted to ink up the edges with some black soot from Tim Holtz, just to give it that, to close it in. I don't think you really can tell because I did also back it with black cardstock. But yeah, this is the overview all completed. I added a sentiment there on the upper portion. It says, "What's your favorite scary movie?" Ooh. Just to complete this spread today. Now I'm going to point out a few things that I added in here, like the pumpkin there by Michael Myers, a little smudge there as well of a pumpkin on the other side, and I'm pointing out that sentiment. And here I'm going to be giving a picture of the added images on the crypt boxes. As always, thanks for watching. Bye.